Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Oahu Model Railroad Society. My name is Buford Hart, the former president of the club. We've been in existence since 1993. To my left is Eddie Freeman.
This is Eddie Freeman. I'm a 2-year member of the club. I have been learning quite a bit from these two guys here. I really appreciate their expertise in model trains, and I look forward to a lot more than that. And to my left is our current president.
Russ Gabriel. I've been a member for too many years, but I've been enjoying it all, and I appreciate working with these guys and all the other members. And we're here today to try to get other people interested in the club.
Thank you. So as I said, we've been in existence since 1993. We were a donated ammunition car from the U.S. Navy. We had just about 20 members, correct?
Yeah,
original
correct,
members.
correct.
So what they did was they took this 40-foot long boxcar, 10.5 feet wide boxcar, stripped it out, and built the most fantastic model railroad layout that I've ever seen. And the caveat to that, it's a train inside of a train. Very unique. Haven't seen it done anywhere else, including the mainland. In front of us, we brought some of our items, some of our rolling stock that we have here. So we operate on our club layout. We operate DCC, which is direct command control. And we have the capability of operating DC, which is what you would normally buy in a regular train store with a regular train set. We're currently open twice a month, every Saturday, twice a month from 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And on Sundays, we are there from 11 a.m. to about 2 p.m. So I'm going to open up the floor with some questions to my club members.
Okay.
So for my first question, I'm going to ask Eddie. So what drew you to trains initially?
Well, that goes back a long time. When I was growing up, a little lad, we almost lived next door to a train track. So I've been fascinated with trains for quite some time. I never got the opportunity to have a train set or join a train club, but I did collect a lot of trains, boxcars, I collected engines, and they just sat around in storage. Then being in Hawaii and finally being able to set up a layout, which was on the at the start of COVID, was when I started my layout. And then I discovered the train club, the model train club was down in Ewa, and I decided to give it a check out and see if it was where I wanted to be in my train world. I thought I had it all together by putting it together the way my father did, an old Lionel train set, but it obviously was not the correct way to do it. Being in the club has shown me how to do a basic setup, which I'm totally destroying my layout at home now and resetting it up according to some standards and ways to keep it running. So that's what it is about for me, to make sure that I do it all properly and the train runs. Oh, I wanted to bring up, there's a big difference in running a train and operating a train.
Absolutely.
There's a big difference there.
Absolutely.
I was into the running a train mode, and I'm trying to inch my way into the operating the train mode. And that's what I'm looking for the club to give me a lot of experience in, Mr. Russell and Buford. But I'm looking forward to that. And that's all I can say about that at the moment.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. And currently we're up to our current president, Mr. Russel Gabriel. He's also the second iteration, am I correct, of the original members. Russell?
Well, I been in the club at almost all ends of it, all facets of it, and just by saying that, people saying, what is the fastest? But there's all kinds, because if you start from the beginning, you got to build a table of some kind. And then, okay, how big do you want it? And do you want more buildings or more track? And if you put more track in it, then you got to have more turnouts. You want to put turnouts, do you want them electrical or manual? So there's a whole lot to think about of what you want to put into it. And I'm finding, after being in the club all these years, that running the train in circles, basically that's what it is the most, that's the worst thing that I like to do as far as the club is concerned. There's other things involved that I'd rather get into, which you people will find out as we go. But anyway, that's where I'm at now as president of the club, and I want everybody that's in the club to join in and participate. And you have to get into doing it rather than looking at it. And pick up an locomotive or a car or whatever it is, and get acquainted with that particular item, and then go from there.
Thank you. Currently, our memberships are comprised of former military veterans. I'm a veteran of the United States Navy. I'm a former firefighter paramedic with the city of Chicago. I came out here almost 10 years ago in 2015. Saw the club layout on Facebook, and I was hooked ever since. I went and got my first set to run on the club layout, and it was fantastic, and I've been hooked ever since. Our current president, Russel Gabriel, he's a whiz at electronics. He does wonderful things in and around the car. Eddie Freeman here is a great photographer. He has photographed many of our layouts, and he's taken video of our layouts. So we have other members, and we're also incorporating, and we don't want to leave the ladies out. You guys are welcome as well to become members as well. And what our club instills to younger people, because it's supposed to outlast us. So what it's going to instill to younger members is the STEM program for young ladies. You'll learn electronics, you'll learn scenery application, there's carpentry involved with it, there's the expansion of young minds and young ideas, and we can also incorporate for veterans. It's a way of stimulating and giving peaceful thoughts to those who have been exposed to trauma on a regular basis. So we do have that aspect. And currently, we are working with the Hawaiian Railway Society in forming and having more members join our club, as our current president said. So we're looking for members to be a part of the Oahu Model Railroad Society and being part of a very fun club. And as you see in front of you, we brought two of our locomotives. I'm a passenger guy, so I grew up in the city of Chicago, so Amtrak is my thing, and New York Central, and anything that's passenger, that's me. And I'm glad to be a part of the club. I've learned so much, and I've found friendships and partnerships with people that I would have never met had I not gotten into the club here. So those are some of the initial points that we would like to make for our club, and we can expound on, how our layout runs. The guy that designed it, he's one of the original members. His name is Philip Chase, and he designed the club into 3 different levels. So we can run up to 6 trains simultaneously. We can run up to 9, but we like to keep it at 6 for safety reasons. We also have an IT specialist that helped put our trains on Wi-Fi, so we don't have to operate with a traditional throttle anymore. We've gone up to the 21st century where we can use our phones as well. We're in the phase of building outdoor modules, and we also have an outdoor layout. So those are some of the things that we have going on at our club.
Yes, hey, that's a great thing. I should be working inside learning to operate. I've been told about that. But I'm concentrating on the outside module that we have, which is going to be our dream. These locomotives, they're, even in scale, they're rather large. So you have to be able to accommodate them. So you have to make your layout that will fit a large train. So I'm learning how to properly lay road bed or cork and the track. The guys have more experience. Now, when I was laying mine at home, I just put the cork down and put the track on top, and eventually you notice the train would wiggle and stuff and it wasn't running properly. It's because I didn't lay the foundation properly. Now I'm learning how to correctly do that and be able to have my train run smoothly. So I appreciate that aspect of the club, that, you know, they're giving me hands-on experience as well as an education, so to speak, because they know, they've done it, they've done the errors, they did the legwork, and now I get to play with the finished product by building this thing up properly. And that's what I'm currently working on. And if I had some other members, which we do have at some times, that's helping me lay this cork, because it's 40 foot long and what, about 8 or 10 foot wide. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of track and a lot of cork to lay down. It's got to be straight. The curves have to be a correct curve. So doing all this under the guidance of the club, hey, I'm all for it. And I'm ready for other people to join in and help with that, because that's my whole thing right now, is to get that track up and running.
So there's a science involved.
Oh, absolutely.
With just
absolutely.
putting out the track.
It's not just throw it on the table and let it go, because you may think you're doing it straight and proper, but once the train is actually running on it and you see that it doesn't react the way it's supposed to react on the track, then something's wrong. Mm-hmm. And if it's laid wrong in the very beginning, it's absolutely going to run wrong when you try to run the trains on it, for sure.
Great, great.
And this all comes from getting in and hands-on doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean, you just not going to put some cork down.
Right.
No.
And
right.
it's going to run. You got to get down there and do it.
Exactly.
With a ruler and a pencil and
oh man, I tell you,
and all that stuff that goes along with it, in order to do what you want to do.
And believe me, I did not do all that at first.
Yeah.
And after it was all set up, and then you find out that it's not correct.
Yeah.
And so what do? You can't adjust it at that point because it's finished. So you have to tear it all down and start from scratch. But at least this time, I'll be able to do it properly this time.
Very good. And Mr. Russell here is a whiz at wiring, which is another component that would help students as well and young people as well. It shows that there is a mathematic to it. You just can't just wing it. You want it to run properly and correctly, because we have several switch panels that control different aspects and different parts of our layout. So Mr. Russell, part of his expertise is wiring. He taught me, a novice, how to wire a switchboard, which I did not know how to do in the beginning. So under Mr. Russell's help, he's taught me how to wire. He's taught me how to operate the switches. He taught me how to switch properly. So those go hand in hand with what we do, which is not just run the train, we actually operate it as close to real world operations, i.e. speed limits, i.e. whistles, i.e. Station stops, and the repairing of things that break. So this is the things that we do and we accomplish at our club. Our club also is Hawaiian based. So everything in the club, from the scenery along the walls to the scenery on the layout tracks itself, has a Hawaiian connection to it. From Waianae to Townbound, we have that kind of connection. And we want to operate it as close to realistic, real world operations as possible. Thus these locomotives here. They are fabulous, wonderful engines and rolling stock that we put all our love and blood, sweat, and tears into, and we get the joy out of seeing other people come to our club, and they're amazed at the layout and the level of detail that's into it. So,
well, what Buford was talking about is very, very true. In one thing he came to my mind just as he's speaking. In the layout, there is a power plant at the one end of the boxcar. And the power plant actually is a replica of the power plant out in Nanakuli. And it's got a smokestack at the plant just like it's out in Nanakuli.
Exactly.
And
let me correct you there. That's Kahi Point.
Kahi
Point is where where it is exactly.
Anyway, on top of the smokestack, there is smoke coming out of it. And the former president, Phil Chase, his dog passed away a couple of years ago, and he thought very much of the dog, and he thought very much of our club. And so he cut some fur off of the dog's tail and mounted it on top of the smokestack at the power plant. So we have that where they don't have it.
Right, right. And then the beauty about it is, as you look toward the scenery, and you see the locomotives here, and the differences in era. So at our club, there's no specific era that we model. So if you like steam engines from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or you like the diesels from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, you can model that. And our locomotives, as you heard, have sound, and they're amazing. So the beauty about it, the other thing about our layout is, if you don't have a train, we will help you construct a layout or a consist for your train at the club. Now, those are club locomotives and club cars, so you'll be using them by the time you're here. And I guarantee you, once you start on it, I guarantee you'll be hooked on it. So what we're trying to also do with young people, to incorporate them as well, we have to understand that in this day and age, young people are glued to their phones. So we are trying to teach them to look up from your phone and expand your mind with ideas that you can carry forward in the real world, where electricity, electrical work, carpentry and things like that. In addition to that, to have fun. Our former club members, we've had club members as young as 7 as our members. We've had a whole family as members. So it's family friendly, it's kid friendly, albeit if they become members, they cannot come to the club alone. They have to be accompanied by an adult at all times. So that forms that bond with the club members who have been there a while. So they get to know us, we get to know them, and then they get to learn how to do at a young age what we love the best, which is operating trains. So those are the things that we have. And as far as our veterans are concerned, if you, like myself, I had no skills whatsoever. I have a little bit of skills now, as the gentleman will agree and attest to. And that's because of Mr. Russell and former club members, because when I joined, there was approximately 8 of the original members still alive. So most of them, majority of them have passed away. So we want to give this club to the next generation and to have them appreciate it as well as we appreciate it, and to keep it going as long as we've kept it going and as long as Mr. Russell has kept it going. So we want to do those type of things and offer that for our club and our club members. Our dues is, if you wanted to pay for it, is $60 for the entire year. That allows you unlimited train. You don't have to pay it no more for the next year. We also accept donations because it's love, and what it does is it helps us to maintain this wonderful piece of Hawaiian history and Americana for the next generation. So those are the things that we like to do, and we would like to share with our ohana here on this island. And we like to also share with our ohana here on the island that our love for this and our respect for the Aina, and that we encapsulate and incorporate them as well, and incorporate and work with the Hawaiian Railway Society as a whole. So,
well, don't forget the veterans. My mind, my sanity, I guess, is working on this thing here and being able to get it to function properly and it takes my mind off of a lot of things that used to be and has been, and it keeps me focused on what I'm trying to do. So I'm out here trying to stimulate the veterans to get them to ease their mind and get into something that's, what's the word I'm trying to use here? That we're still here, we're still brothers, we're still together, and I'm trying to keep us all together and sane. So I look forward to the veterans coming and joining us in that camaraderie that you can only get in the military. I'm trying to keep that going even in our clubs, so even the veterans can come and be a part of this. That's one of the things that I'm trying to work on myself.
That's a great point, Eddie, and I'm glad you drove that home as far as the veteran aspect is concerned.
Yeah.
Because it does help with PTSI, and it does help with the traumas that you've seen in combat and without combat. We've had numerous members from our armed forces become members. They were active duty, and due to orders and things like that, they have gone on. But it was a pleasure learning from them, and it was a pleasure meeting them and having them a part of our club. We also have members that also live off island and on the mainland, and they only come every now and again, but we know they've been there.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful group, you know, and it's almost like a brotherhood. So Mr. Russell here is one of the instrumental reasons that I joined. Mr. Russell and our former president, Phil Chase, they're the two main reasons why I joined. These two gentlemen, these two gentlemen are hilarious. You hear me?
Oh boy.
But you learn so much from them. And the bond that we have is really close. And I'm grateful that I've met all of these gentlemen and the ladies that are a part of our club too. It's a wonderful experience to be a part of. And a lot of the people who come and ride the excursion train at the Hawaiian Railway Society tend to walk right by our layout. But we're going to improve on that. We want to be more visible, and we want to have, with this program and our connection with the Hawaiian Railway Society, we want to improve on that so it will be a lasting tribute and a lasting relationship, correct.
Yeah.
Relationship with the surrounding communities.
Yeah.
So that's what our ultimate goal is to do, you know. So with Mr. Russell's help and tutelage, with his experience, vast experience in a lot of things, so he could teach the next group on how to make our club better than it is. And hopefully, with this initial program, there will be more to follow. So with operations and scenery design and things like that, what we need to incorporate.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying there, Buford, and what just something just came to mind while you're talking is what I like to see is, or maybe tell the audience, that we want you to come and join the club and bring your engine or your locomotive or whatever you like to have. We have locomotives that you can run, or later on you can get your own. But I want you to be in the cab, in the locomotive and running it. And when you're doing that, you have to know where you want to go. So when you start your locomotive up and you're leaving the station, it is
correct.
And the train is moving. And it's going down the track. Now, in realism, the track is set to go where it needs to go, where the locomotive needs to go. But what I want to do with the club is, you want to make it go where you want to go. Precisely. On the club. So, okay, which toggle switch do you have to move? Which turnout do you have to move? And then when you get through it, you got to throw it back. And it's not that easy to pick up overnight.
Correct.
And you're going to have to do it over and over and over, and you have to get in there and do it.
Exactly.
And not watch,
But do.
but do.
Correct.
And that I'm finding is a hard thing to educate people with. But
So the layout itself, as Mr. Russell was explaining, is very, very intricate. We have numerous switches. We have levels that we need to get to do different things, station stops, picking up cargo, traveling through the layout so you don't rear end or collide with another locomotive, or consist, which is a group of cars that follow the locomotive. So that's one of the things that Mr. Russell was expounding on. Also, if you're becoming a new member of the club, like he said, that we want you to be a part of the club as much as possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just joining the club is one thing, but doing the work of it, and everybody likes to run their trains, but there's work involved in keeping it going.
Right.
So we would like for more of us, or more members to come, or potential members to come and be a part of our club. We also have, not to leave them out, we also, on property of the Hawaiian Railway Society, we also have an O-gauge layout as well, which is the bigger trains. So we want to also give them a shout out, a pleasant shout out as well. But as our club, as it pertains to our club specifically, we're looking for members as well. We're looking for camaraderie, we're looking for education, we're looking for membership, and we're looking for a good time. So if you're so inclined and you want to become a member of the Oahu Model Railway Society, come down, see us. We're here every first and third Saturdays from 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And on Sundays, we're there once again from 11 a.m. to about 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. at the very latest. One of us is visible there at all times during the club, and there are more club members at the club. So with that being said, and with our first show, we'd like to say thank you to the Hawaiian Railway Society. We'd like to thank you to those members and the board members. We'd like to give a special thanks to Mr. Ross Stevenson, who put all of this together. We'd like to thank ʻŌlelo for giving us this wonderful platform to showcase our trains.
Absolutely.
So in the coming days and the coming weeks, we hope to provide more insight into what we do and how we do, so we can show you that there is fun in trains. Thank you for being a part of this. And on behalf of myself, Buford Hart, Eddie Freeman, and Mr. Russell Gabriel, we'd like to say thank you and a big mahalo.
And we'll see you at the train. See you at the yard.
all right.